Week 17, scouting bets here. Week 16 is under wraps. We have all of the Week 17 spreads, even the ones I filled in that were off the board. Week 16 kind of sucked. Didn't cash out any tickets. COVID hit the Browns. That ruined the ticket. The over didn't hit for the Rams Cardinals game. So didn't cash out any tickets week 17. That really sucked. But week 17 is here, the infamous week 17. Of course, with week 17 is the last week of the season. Who's motivated? Who's not? As you can see, the Texans, they kind of gave up. J.J. Watt kind of knows it. But week 17, this is an interesting year during COVID. There's a lot of games still on the line week 17, a lot of playoff spots on the line. There's so many scenarios. I tried my best to get organized with this, but there's so many scenarios. There's no way I can do this in under 15 minutes and fully explain. So I'm going to try my best with these picks. This is probably the craziest scenarios I've seen in a long time for week 17. I'm going to try my best to break these down for you, just to let you know who's motivated, who's not, what's happening, who's sitting, who's not. I'm just going to run through some of these. Some of these will trickle back and forth to each other. So just bear with me here. So you have Packers, Bears. I'm on Packers all day. I like what they're doing. I think, for me, I like the Packers to come out of the NFC. Personally, that's the team that I'm backing for the playoffs. But the Packers get the number one seed. Of course, if they beat the Bears. They just got to beat the Bears. They get the number one seed still if the Seahawks lose to the 49ers. Now, I'm going to keep going here. The Bears get in with a win or a Cardinals loss. For the Browns, they also get in, but they need some help. They still get in, but they would need a Titans loss or a Colts loss, or they have to win. The Ravens are in with a win or a Cleveland loss. Now, also in these scenarios, there's also tie factors and things like that. But I'm not going to get into that. Each team literally has maybe 5 different scenarios on getting in. So I'm just doing the most realistic ones, not counting ties. Yeah, so it did. So the Browns to get in, they need a Titan. So for the Browns also to get in, they need a Titans loss and a Colts loss. Not really likely. Plus the Browns, they just have to win that game. So the Browns, I think they're not going to make the playoffs because the odds that the Titans and the Colts lose, I don't know. I don't think the Bears are going to make it either. I think the Packers are going to beat them. The Ravens get in with a win or a Cleveland loss. So got to think the Ravens are going to get into the playoffs. The Colts get the AFC South title with a Titans loss or a tie. They get a playoff spot. Even if they don't get the division title, they get a playoff spot with a win and a Ravens loss or a Miami loss or a Cleveland Browns loss. Once again, there's so many scenarios in this week 17. Miami gets in with a win or a Ravens loss or a Browns loss. The first round bye is still up for grabs in the NFC. So Seattle still has a chance to get a first round bye. The Saints still have a shot at a first round bye. And the Packers are also playing for a first round bye. Other things that you need to know with the Rams game, Cooper Kupp is not going to play. Jared Goff is not going to play. Cooper Kupp is on the COVID list. Jared Goff, broken thumb. John Wolford, the backup quarterback, is going to start. Did a little bit of research on him. He's a decent quarterback. Goff is inconsistent. He's pretty trash sometimes. So who knows? That guy might come off the bench and surprise everyone. So who knows with that game? But, the Cardinals, they've been a little rough lately. I get it. That offense is a little lagging. So, it's a -2.5 for the Cardinals. Backup quarterback with the Rams, no Cooper Kupp. I think you kind of got to back the Cardinals there, but you never know. This guy can come off the bench and just sling it left and right. So apparently this guy likes to throw the ball deep. He's pretty accurate deep, that John Wolford guy. He played for some other league, but he did pretty good. Apparently, he did pretty good. He put up good numbers. He likes to throw the deep ball. He throws pretty good, over 20 yards, but he did get sacked a lot. So, I mean, the guy's in the NFL now. You know how these guys come off the bench and coaches don't have film on a guy and they just light a team up. So I'm still a little iffy on this game. I'm playing it very safe this week 17. I need to find out some more info. But I'm just doing this video for some quick info for you guys. So that's the thing in that game, and of course the division is still on the line for Rams Cardinals. So that's for a playoff spot. That Arizona versus Cardinals game. If the Rams lose, they get in with a Bears loss to the Packers. So once again, a lot of crazy scenarios in that game. Steelers, Big Ben is not playing also. Mason Rudolph is playing against the Browns. The Browns need to win this game too to keep their playoff hopes alive. -10. Another game, I need to find out some research. I need to know if the Browns are getting their offense back. The reason the Browns lost to the Jets, their whole entire offense pretty much was eliminated due to COVID. So I don't know. With no Big Ben playing, and the Steelers, mind you, with motivation, they already wrapped up their division. So really not much for them to go hard about. But Browns -10 might be a little too high, but the Browns need to win. I don't know if they have their weapons like Landry and those guys back. So who knows? And another thing, the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, they locked it up. They're getting a first round bye. He is not playing. Chargers are -4 in that game. So, I mean, and another thing. Oh, and of course, Washington football team. If they beat my Eagles, they're in the playoffs. Cowboys, Giants, whoever wins that game and then lose, and whoever, if the Washington football team loses to the Eagles, they're in. Which is pretty sad because they will win the division with a losing record, which is pretty sad. While there's teams like the Titans, the Ravens, who have winning records over 10 wins, might not get in, which I don't think is fair. That NFC has been a joke all season long. Motivation, week 17. I usually try to stay away from week 17 games because you don't know who's going to get benched and, only play, Tom Brady might only play for the first half. They locked up a playoff spot. So that's the unknown of week 17. But there's a lot of scenarios for a lot of teams, Bills at home. I do like the Bills at home, but they're in the playoffs. Are they going to go hard? Dolphins need a win. Tua's been struggling. So week 17, be very, very careful. Week 17 with motivation. How much are starters going to actually play in this week 17 game? So just focus on the teams that have a lot to play for. I think the Packers really want that home field advantage. I really think the Ravens are going to make it in to beat on the Bengals. But there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of players not playing. But that's, week 17. I'm really trying to wait for the playoffs, but I did put in 2 tickets last minute. So I'm going to show you. I didn't do much this week. I just did the Packers. I just like the Packers against the Bears. Honestly, I love the Packers in the NFC to come out. I think they'll make it out. The Bucs are too inconsistent. Seahawks, their defense has been suspect all year. I think the Packers are the most complete team in the NFC. Who else? The Rams, inconsistent. Goff, inconsistent with an injury. So I really like the Packers to make it out the NFC. And then the last ticket that I did, 3-team teas, 7-point. Eagles plus 8.5. Guys, I did this. The Eagles, they have nothing to play for, but this is just because I'm an Eagles fan. Dwayne Haskins. Let's talk about Dwayne Haskins. He's a black quarterback. He just let everyone down. We all know the stigma with black quarterbacks in the NFL, and he kind of just ruined it. You don't want to be a Jamarcus Russell. You want to be a Russell Wilson. It's just sad to see how these guys just ruin their opportunities, but I'm just going. Now, the Washington football team needs this win. They need this win. They have a good defense, but I'm just doing this bet just because I'm an Eagles fan. Just give me one win at the end of the year. I like Colts -7 on a tease and Ravens -5 on the Bengals. The Colts need a win. The Ravens need a win also. These are just two tickets, just straight bet Packers. And then I did a 3-point tease. Now, there's some games I still like. There's definitely some games I still like, but I need more info. I like the Bills, but I need to know the motivation. Bills are home. Dolphins have been struggling, even though they did get that crazy win over the Raiders. Tua's still going to start, but he's been sucking. But also, Fitzmagic has been coming off the bench and being the closer and winning these games, so I still need to think on the Bills. I do like the Bills. It might be a trap at the -2 where they might just pull everyone. I also like the Chargers. Chiefs got nothing to play for. They got the spot. Mahomes is not playing in that game. I think that's just not an easy win, but Chargers just win that game because Mahomes is not there. I didn't pull the trigger on that yet, but I kind of want to take the Chargers there also. There's another game I think I was looking at, and then I'm also eyeing the Cardinals with no Jared Goff and no Cooper Kupp. I kind of like the Cardinals. The Cardinals need to win that game too, to get into the playoffs. So I'm eyeing the Cardinals. I'm eyeing the Chargers. And what other one was it? And I'm eyeing the Bills. But that's week 17 for you guys. Let me know what you think. Week 17 is a crazy week. Motivation. You got to find out the motivation and also what teams are still going hard. I think the Texans already quit. The Titans should win that game, but I think the Texans, you heard what J.J. Watt said. I think the Texans gave up weeks ago. But that's week 17, guys. These are my bets for week 17. Honestly, I'm looking forward towards the playoffs. Let me know what you think. If you guys have any info. I also need to know what the Browns, is that offense coming back? Because with no Big Ben, Mason Rudolph is trash. That -10 is a little too high, but let me know what you think. I'm still eyeing these spreads. I'm still waiting for more info. I need to know, especially with the Browns. Let me know what you guys think. Post your bets for week 17. Scouting Bets here. Please subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you for supporting all 17 weeks. Scouting Bets playoffs come next season. Good luck to everyone.